Hey, y'all. It's a loud car outside, y'all. Give me 1 second. Think they're passing. Okay, y'all. Welcome to this workshop Sunday. I hope that y'all are doing well. This is your life coach, your social worker, your girl, Tonetta. I'm bringing you all into the video this afternoon. It is a little bit early. Like, I think I did post a post telling y'all there was going to be a time change. So this is the time change. It's about an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes early, which is okay. But let's go ahead and get into it, y'all. Like I said, this workshop Sunday is talking about forgiveness. I know for the last, let me see, about 4 weeks, we talked about the healing process, the healing stages. How do you start healing? What does that process look like? How do you go through the steps and the stages and that kind of thing as well? And like I said before, the stages to that is similar to the stages of when you're going through grieving, the grieving process. I guess I put it that way as well. And like I said, that's what we've been going over for the past several weeks, several Sundays. And I hope that you all have caught those videos. But like I said, this video, this last one, I guess in this healing realm is talking about forgiveness. And I know a lot of times we don't want to hear this F word at all. I know a lot of folks think it's a curse word, that kind of thing, but I'm here to tell you it is not a curse word, y'all. Like I said, forgiveness is something that will give us our own inner peace. And like I said, I'll get into that a little bit later on, but it will definitely give us our own inner peace. It's not forgiving, not condoning the things that the person, whatever that person did to you, is helping you to have your own inner peace around this situation and your own freedom around this situation. And like I said, I'll explain more to this a little bit later on as we go through these five stages or five steps of forgiveness. And of course, there are some people may have 15, 21, that kind of thing. I have just five that I thought were very beneficial, and they're the same stages that I went through as well when I was going through my forgiveness processes and that kind of thing. I guess I put it that way. And I'll give you all some tips on how you can start doing it too as I go throughout this. But let me go ahead and get into it. Like I said, forgiveness is the act of pardoning an offender, a release, a letting go. So just keep that in mind as we go through. Like I said, it's not saying that what the person did to you was right at all. It's letting go of the situation, what's going on, the act of pardoning, letting go, moving forward, that kind of thing, and freedom for yourself. Forgiveness. Let me tell you what forgiveness is not. Like I said before, forgiveness is not saying that what the person did to you was right, or that they should have done it to you, that kind of thing at all. It's not saying that at all. The forgiveness is for you to be able to have the inner freedom, inner peace, and to move forward. And it's not for you to sweep things up under the carpet. I know a lot of times that we, of course, say that we've forgiven this person, we've forgiven that person, but here comes somebody mentioning that person's name, or somebody else has that person's name, or you see a picture of that person, you see their post come up on Facebook or social media, and you're getting upset again. Oh, I can't stand this person and this kind of thing. You may not say it out loud, but inside you're thinking that. That is not forgiveness. That is showing that you have swept the feelings and swept the things up under the carpet so that you wouldn't have to deal with it. Forgiveness, it takes a lot. It just like healing, it takes work. It's not that you just say, "Oh, I forgive this person," and go ahead and move on. It's not that easy. It does take work for you to, of course, release some of those feelings, and some or all of those feelings behind whatever that situation was. And I'll get into that in a few. But like I said, it's not sweeping things up under the carpet so that you won't have to deal with things. I know a lot of times that's how we as people, you, me, everybody as people seem to want to do, sweep things up under the carpet and not want to deal with it because it's too painful, it's too hurtful. You don't want to relive those feelings and that kind of thing. But let me just tell you, reliving those feelings and getting that stuff out will definitely help you in the long run. It's not going to bring you any kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess apology, I guess, from that person, unless that's what you're seeking. I'll talk about that a little bit later. That's up to you. But like I said, it's going to bring you the inner peace that you need to move forward. But let me tell you one more thing. You need to understand, like I said before, that you're doing this for yourself and not anyone else. You're not saying that you forgive somebody who abused you because you want that person to I guess, to feel the feelings of you forgive the feelings of forgiveness. You don't want that to happen at all. You don't want to be saying that you forgive somebody, just be saying it, I guess, to please your mom, to please your dad, to please your partner, to please whoever it is, the perpetrator, whoever it was. You're doing this forgiveness for you and not anybody else. I want to make sure that y'all understand that this is for you and not anybody else. And like I said, I'll bring some more of this into it later on, but just keep in mind that the forgiveness, nobody has to tell you to forgive anybody. Your process is going to be your process. I'm not telling you to forgive somebody, all these folks today. I'm not saying that at all. But this is the process and this is the stages that you can take to, of course, start your own forgiveness process whenever you are ready. It's not ready whenever your mother or father or somebody else tell you to go ahead and forgive this person because they had this going on, and you shouldn't be holding on to these things. They can say that all they want, but just keep in mind that you're the one who has to be able to honestly, truthfully say that you forgive this person, not because somebody else wanted you to. So like I said, this is for you, not anybody else. So let me go ahead and get on into the stages of forgiveness. Like I said, this is the first one. And I know that a lot of people, like I said, when I talk about your inner healing, forgiveness, any process that you're going through, any kind of work that you're going through, whether you're just documenting what you're doing in your business, anything like that, get yourself a journal and write those things down. Before I even get to number one, get yourself a journal and write these things down. You have to write these things out when you're going through the forgiveness process and the forgiveness stages as well, just like the healing, the same thing. If you do not have a notebook or a pad of paper, something that you can keep sacred to yourself, or a diary or a journal already, you can get a journal through my, it's a link in my bio or the link in the description of the video. There's a link on there for an author's page. You can scroll on down to the author's page and pick you up a journal. They're all less than $10. I've already created about 4 or 5 on there for you. But if you already have something that you can use to write with, or you don't want to order a journal for my author's page, that's fine. Go to Walmart, go to Family Dollar, go to Dollar Tree, and get you a doggone notebook somewhere, and it should be less than $1 or $2. Get you a notebook to write in. That's the one of the beginning things before I even get into stage number 1. So you have to have something to write with, because you have to write out how you feel about these things. Get out the information, get it all out of your head and put it on paper. That's the beginning. Let me get into number 1 and why I was saying that, why it was so important. Number 1, who and what is it that you need to forgive? Like I said, you're writing down who, and I know you may have 1,000 situations that may have happened. I know I've had many too, sexual abuse and all this type of stuff, being cheated on, all these types of things. Pick one of them things to start writing about, that's the one that's bothered you the most. Or if you don't know which one bothers you the most, write down everything before you even start writing about anything about forgiveness. Start writing a whole list of things that's happened to you in your whole life that's affected you in some kind of way, that gave you some type of negative emotion. Write down all the list of things that you ever been through. Then just pick one and start from there. That's the easiest way to go ahead and get started. If you don't know which one of them bothers you the most, just write a list of things that you've been through, the lessons that you may have learned, the sexual abuse, the trauma, the drama, all those things, your parents' divorce, all those things. Write all those things down. And then just pick one to start with. That's how you do it if you can't figure it out. That's the easiest way to do it. Just pick one and start with it. You have to write down, like I said, you have to write down whatever happened. Who was it that you need to forgive? Who were the people involved in the situation? For instance, I was sexually abused as a child. Write down the other person, or the person that was the perpetrator in that situation. If this is, I'm talking to you, write that down. If it was many people, you were raped or that kind of thing, write that down too. Whoever was in the situation, who was there, the perpetrators, who didn't do anything, who sat there and watched. If you don't know their names, just put person A and person B. Or if you remember the clothes they may have had on or anything about them, put that down. Then you have to write it down, what it is that you need to forgive. If it is a sexual trauma, write that down then. Write the situation. Like I said, you have to write it down and get those things out of your head and out of your spirit. Write them down. That's why I keep talking about the journaling. Write it down. Yes, it may make you cry to go ahead and go through this first step. I'm sure that. It may make you upset, pissed off, want to go out here and hurt somebody. Don't do that though. But like I said, it's going to probably make you pissed off. Let it do that. But you have to write down who and what it is that you need to forgive. Write it down. What happened? Any feelings associated with that situation or that experience, write it down. If it was sexual abuse, sexual trauma that you were going through, I'll just use that for an example. I know some folks may be triggered by this, and that's fine. This is probably what you need to hear then. But write down how it made you feel, how it hurt your body, how your vagina felt, how anything in your mouth, whatever they did to you, write those things down. Even if it was your anus, whatever it was, write those things down. Write about how humiliated you may have felt, any guilt or shame, any of those things, write that down. If you thought that you could have done something different in that situation, but you didn't, write that thing down. If you thought that you could have fought more in that situation, but you didn't, or you tried to and that hurt you more, write that down. Write how that made you feel. Like I said, we cannot face anything head on. We cannot heal anything head on if you're not actually telling yourself the truth about the situation. What happened, who it was, if you know the dates, all that kind of stuff, put that stuff down too if you know it. I don't, but if you do, put it down. Get it out of your head. Like I said, we cannot keep going on lying to ourselves and sweeping things up under the carpet, but we know what all these situations are doing to our lives. When we have sexual trauma, that of course affects the relationships that we have in the future. We may not want to have sex with our partner as often, or a certain way that they may touch us may not feel that will be a turnoff for us. I've been through those situations. Write those things down. How else do you think you're going to heal from that? This is talking about forgiveness, but this is part of the healing stages as well. This is actually the last stage in the healing process that I talked about a few weeks ago. Write those things down. Any feelings, anger, bitterness, resentment, hate, write those things down. Give those feelings and emotions a name. I don't care how it may look. You can curse all you want. I don't care how religious or spiritual you are. But if you want to curse in this situation, go ahead. To me, that's fine. Get this stuff out. Otherwise, you're going to be sitting here hurting for the rest of your life. Step number 2 in the forgiveness stages. Allow the feelings to be felt, like I just said. Allow the feelings and the emotions to be felt. Don't try to sugarcoat anything. Don't try to hold anything back. If you start crying or shaking or getting anxious, nervous, put those things down. That's probably how you felt in that situation too. That's probably why you're still going through anxiety attacks and all those kind of things. That could be why you're still facing depression now. That could be the reason why. Write those things down. That could be feeling why you get, it could be the reason why you get uneasy feelings when you go in different buildings and there's like a lot of men there, or a lot of women there, that kind of thing. That could be why you feel uneasy going in those situations. Write those things down. Allow the feelings that you feel to be felt, y'all. When it comes to forgiveness and healing, you have to allow, when you're writing these things down, trying to get these things out, like I said, writing about the situation, that kind of thing, allow the feelings to be felt. Don't try to hold anything back. And if you need to do this in a safe space, in a safe place, make sure that you're by yourself, then do that. Let the feelings out and process them. But if you need a professional, like me as a life coach, or if you need somebody as a therapist, or a counselor, or a pastor that you may have, or a trusted elder that you may have, talk to them and let them know what's going on and what you're trying to do, so that they can, of course, assist you in this situation if you need that kind of assistance. Don't do this alone if you cannot. And thank you. It's the M Ingredients STL for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. And like I said, if you need a safe place, a place to process these feelings and all those types of things with a trusted person, then find that person before you even go down this journey. But like I said, definitely, if you're able to do this alone, then go ahead and do that alone. If not, find somebody, whether it's a life coach like myself, or some other kind of coach, or some other kind of pastor, somebody, an elder that you, of course, you can trust and know that they'll keep these things within and not, of course, let them out and just gossip about you. They have to be somebody that you trust that's going to keep this information as a safe place for you and let you vent the way that you want to vent. Just keep that in mind. Some things that I would say as well that can help you when you're going through the forgiveness stages, because like I said, this is healing for you as well. This is the last stage in the healing process. Again, like I said, forgiveness. When you're going through this process, if you're doing this alone, or even if you're doing this with somebody, you can try to do, you can do 2 things. The first thing I did this was write letters to the people who I felt that hurt me and that like I said, produced that trauma, drama, that kind of thing in my life. I wrote letters to those people. My parents, the person who sexually abused me, all those types of things. I wrote letters. Some of those letters were 10, 15 pages long. That's okay. But I wrote the letters and got everything out that I wanted to say to that person. Now, I did say write a letter. I know some people have taken it upon themselves to, of course, reach out to different people, the perpetrator, whoever it was that hurt them. If you feel that you want to do that and you feel that the other person may listen or may not be so defensive that you all get back into it or things go on and you get hurt again, if you feel that that's going to be the case, do not do that. But if you feel that that person may have matured or whatever the case may be, or they can listen to you now, you're older enough, or whatever the case is, and that you want to reach out to them, then you can feel that that's your decision. Go ahead and do that if you feel that you want to do that. If not, keep these things written in your journal, your notebook for yourself, or the trusted person that you're talking to. Like I said, write a letter. That's one of the ways that you can get these feelings out and to process things. Number 2, you can use what is called the empty chair technique. That's when you're sitting like I'm sitting in this chair, have a chair sitting right in front of you. You can put like a teddy bear there or put a doll there that represents the person that hurt you and start talking to that person and telling that person how you feel. And don't let up. Just keep on talking. And if you want to record yourself while you're doing it, then go ahead and do that too. Most of our cell phones have a record button that you can record conversations, that kind of thing. Record that whole entire process if you want to. You don't have to. But the empty chair technique, like I said, sitting in front of another chair with that teddy bear or that doll or that whatever it is, or that person's picture, if you have that, sitting in that chair, talk to that person, tell them how you feel. Like I said, those are 2 ways that you can allow your feelings to be felt. Those are 2 easy ways. Like I said, if you want to decide to take it upon yourself to actually do this face to face with this person, that's up to you. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm telling you to keep all this within or with a trusted person that you can talk to get your feelings out with. Because I don't want anybody out there trying to go talk to the person that abused them. They get hurt again or killed or something happens. Please don't do that. Unless you trust that this person is going to not harm you in any kind of way. And you all can listen and talk and that kind of thing. If not, do not do that. But like I said, it's ultimately your decision. I'm telling you some ways that, of course, you can write things down to get them out and process your feelings, or you can talk to a trusted individual. Like I said, like me, a life coach, or any other life coach that you know that you can, of course, get hire, whatever the case may be, or a pastor that you may have that you love and that you know that they'll keep things sacred between you and them. A priest, if you want to go to a Catholic church and do this, that's up to you. Like I said, you have to decide whether you have a trusted person if you want to do with another person. You don't have to. When I'm talking about these things, about the things I'm telling you to do alone, that's how you coach yourself through situations. I'm trying to teach you the process to do these things on your own. I'm not going to always be here. Other people are not going to always be in your life. Some folks can pass away tomorrow. You never know. You have to learn how to process things and let your feelings out within yourself. I guess I put it that way. You have to learn how to coach yourself and do these things on your own at some point, because you're not going to always have somebody to run to. That's why I'm telling y'all everything that I've told you all up until this point is talking about how to self-coach yourself. I may not have said that in those words, but I'm telling y'all that today. Like I said, I may be here talking about this now, but it may not always be like this. I have no idea. But like I said, you have to learn how to coach yourself through these situations. You have everything that you need within you to get yourself through any hard situation. God didn't just put you here just for nothing. He put you here with the things that you need to walk you through these situations. Once you learn the process, to do them on your own whenever they should come up. I was always told that God don't put you in any situation that you cannot bear, that you cannot get through. I don't care how hard the situation may sound or may be. He gave you the skills already to work through that situation. You have to just tap into them and use them. So let me go ahead and get to number 3, y'all. Number 3, understand why forgiveness is for you. You have to understand, like I said in the beginning of this whole entire workshop, that forgiveness is for you, is not for nobody else. You don't have to tell the person that hurt you that you're going to forgive them. You ain't got to say that to nobody. Do it yourself. It's for you. It's not for anybody else. Nobody even has to know, not even me, that you're going through this situation. Nobody has to know. Not even your spouse, if he's in the house, until you get ready to talk to that person about these things. Nobody even has to know. You have to deal with these things first and process them first before you can talk to anybody else about it. Because it's going to come out with a bunch of hollering, yelling, upset, cursing, all this kind of stuff going on. You getting upset, walking out, possibly storming away. Nobody that, if the other person that you're talking to is asking what's going on, and you can't talk to them calmly, sit down about it, you're not ready to talk to nobody else about it yet. Talk to it within yourself and in your journal first. But like I said, you have to understand that this forgiveness for you. Let me explain it this way. The negative thoughts and the feelings are attachments to those that hurt you, hurt me, hurt us. Like I said again, the negative thoughts and feelings that you have are attachments to those people that hurt us. It's like a cord. If you can imagine a cord, let me see if I don't have any cords up here. But shoot, I don't have a cord. But say this pen is a cord. This is you on this end. This is you, and this is the perpetrator, the person that hurt you. This cord is keeping you attached to that person. All this stuff in the middle, that's the bitterness, that's the resentment, that's the anger, that's the hate, that's the hurt. Those are the feelings that you feel. And that's what's keeping you attached, all those feelings and emotions. That's what's keeping you attached to this person. And I wish I had something that I can use. I don't see anything up here, y'all, but that's okay. But like I said, this is what's keeping you attached to that person. All these things in the in-between. I hope y'all understand with this little, I guess, demonstration what I'm saying. All those things are keeping you attached to this person. Here they are down here, and here you is right here. Everything that they did is in the middle. Everything that, all the story that you're telling yourself is in the middle. All the feelings that you hurt, you feel, the shame, the guilt, that's all in the middle of this. Like I said, this is what's keeping you attached to that person. This is the cord that's keeping you attached. And once you break this cord, then you break all those feelings, all that bitterness, all that hate, all that wanting to get revenge, all that stuff to that person. And over time, that person's name, that person's picture, that person's anything may come up. Cologne you may smell, anything may come up. And it's not going to affect you as much anymore. You're not going to have all those feelings and all those emotions. You want to hurt this person. You want to get this person, or you want them to feel the hurt that you felt. You're not going to have all those things once you break that attachment. And I wish I had a pencil and somebody could just broke the attachment. I don't have anything right now, so I'm not going to break this little pen. But like I said, in order for you to break that attachment, you have to break this cord, y'all. Work on the things in the middle of this cord. And like I said, all those attachments, that's what's keeping you bound to that person. All those feelings, those emotions, everything, the story that you've been telling yourself this whole time about that situation, that's what's keeping you bound to that person. Just keep that in mind. Cutting this cord, if I break this whole thing, or I guess I can take it apart. I can't take it apart, but if I could take it apart, or break this mechanical pencil, cutting that attachment to this cord, it frees you of the attachment of the internal conflict that you have with this person. And it brings you inner peace, and it brings you freedom once you cut this cord. Like I said, every situation that we go through, whether it's abuse, trauma, somebody bullied you, somebody cheated on you, whatever it is, crazy relationships that you've been in, anytime that you have a situation, every situation that you go through is going to have this cord attached to it, especially if you're being triggered by it. The situation, the person, or the behavior of somebody else in that situation. The name, whatever it is you've been triggered by, that is the cord that you're still holding on to that situation with. Here's the attachment down at this end. The person, the perpetrator of the situation, and here are you, the eraser, at this end. And like I said, it's not until you break this whole entire cord, that's when you start feeling your inner freedom, and that's what forgiveness gives you. I want to make sure that y'all understand that. Like I said, that's what forgiveness gives you once you cut that cord. And just keep in mind that if you do not cut this cord or break this pen, whatever it is, break the cord, break the bond with that perpetrator, with that situation, with those feelings attached to this person, you're going to forever be stuck wherever you are and holding yourself back. You won't be able to advance forward as much as you want because you're studying holding on to all this baggage. This is what Erykah Badu, if y'all listen to Erykah Badu, I love Erykah Badu. When she's talking about Bag Lady, that song, I don't know if y'all remember that song, but it's a song that she has called Bag Lady. These attachments or these cords are stuffed in that bag. That's exactly what she's talking about. And it's not until you start digging in that bag, getting those attachments, figuring out why they're affecting you, who did this, who did what, getting those feelings out, that's where you start to lessen the triggers and lessen the effect that person has on you and that situation has on you. But like I said, it's only when you start doing the work, that's only when that's going to happen. Just keep that in mind. Number 4, forgiveness. What boundaries are you reestablishing with the perpetrator? Now, if that person is still in your life, if it's a parent that that has caused you some issues, or I don't know, a baby's father that you still have to co-parent, that kind of thing with, like I said, you have to reestablish the boundaries that you have with that person. If that person is no longer in your life, then reestablishing these boundaries would come for anybody else after that. I put it that way. You have to rebuild a place of safety for yourself. A place of safety within your boundaries, within the trust that you have to rebuild within yourself, within the forgiveness that you have to rebuild within yourself, to let yourself know that I got this, I can do this, I can move forward, and nobody else is going to hurt me in this way. But you have to reestablish those boundaries. Somewhere along the line, if you're a child, this happened to, that may not have been the case. But like I said, if it was somebody, a partner cheating or that kind of thing, or whatever it is as an adult, when you're trying to rebuild your boundaries, you have to look at what, if you played a part in this, if you were able to play a part in that situation, look at what you may have done to rebuild that boundary. If you were, of course, loving that person more than you love yourself, you have to rebuild that self-love boundary. What things are you going to do to and self-love and respect boundary, actually? How are you going to start respecting yourself and start loving on yourself to let other folks know how to do the same to you and not just to treat you in any kind of way? That's a boundary that you can, of course, rebuild, always rebuild. If it's a boundary for as far as not letting, if the perpetrator is still in your life, of course, if you're not calling that person a lot, you're not going to visit that person. If that person always is there for holiday events and stuff like that, you have to choose whether you're going to stop going to those events or not. That's a choice you have to make. Some folks do, some folks don't. But if you do decide to go to those events, keep in mind that you can always keep your distance. You don't have to hug anybody you don't want to hug, to say, hey, how you doing? You don't have to, you can be cordial, say hello, keep on pushing. You don't have to give a hug or kiss, especially if it was sexual abuse in that situation. You don't have to hug or kiss that person at all, to do anything with or sit next to them at the table, anything like that. Hold any kind of conversation. If you don't want to, that's up to you. Until you're able to, of course, speak either to that person without going off, hollering, yelling, that kind of thing, I would say keep it to yourself and keep it pushing. And if you choose not to go, don't go to the event then. That is definitely a choice that you can make. And as an adult, I know as kids, if there's any kids or youth listen to this, sometimes it may not be that easy because your parents are pushing you to go to grandmother's house or uncle's house or whoever's house, and you don't want to go there because you feel uncomfortable. They may not understand that regardless as to whether you told them or not. I'm hoping that you had told your parents, I hope, especially if you're a youth, listen to this. Because they may not understand why you don't want to go to Cousin Pam's house or Cousin Sam's house or whoever's house it is. Grandma's house. They may not understand until you tell them what's going on. In some cases, they still make you go. I've seen that happen. And the perpetrator's there, but you have to keep in mind, as a youth, there's not a lot of options unless your parent is definitely understanding, I guess I put it that way. I've met many ignorant parents who still make their child go sit on the grandfather's lap, even though he's abused this person, this kind of thing. I have seen that happen. It's happened to me, actually. I've seen it happen. But as a kid, we don't have all those luxuries of not going to a place, especially if our parents saying we have to go. But as an adult, out on your own, you can choose that. And for those youth who are going through that, I definitely feel for you. And I definitely hope that you found a safe haven, a safe place that you can talk to somebody, pastor, family, friend, that kind of thing that you can confide in. I hope that you can. If not, look for that. You can find somebody, even if it's me, you can call me or DM me. Well, I guess DM me. You can do that as well if you want a safe person to talk to. And some strategies to, of course, help you out in those kind of situations. Definitely DM me. I'm giving away free 20-minute strategy sessions right now for those who may need a quick transformation. Dealing with relationships, love, sex, dealing with yourself, your self-love, your boundaries, trauma, drama, whatever you need. I'm a life coach, so I've been through a lot of situations, so I know a lot of different things. But like I said, if you need that 20-minute strategy session, it's free. DM me today to go ahead and get yours set up, y'all. And I'm doing this just started this past week, giving away free sessions, actually. I'm not sure how long I'll be doing this for, but definitely right now I am. So if you need that, let your girl know and just DM me, like I said. But like I said, dealing with the perpetrators, or dealing with anybody with any kind of forgiveness, you have to reestablish your boundaries. You don't want to stay the same person that you were before the abuse occurred, as much as you can help it. Meaning that you want to tighten your boundaries around how you spend your time, how you show yourself self-love, how you show yourself respect, how you show yourself self-worth, how you, of course, trust others. If you are a person that's, of course, trusting others and believing everything that they say, but they keep running over you and dogging you out, that's a boundary that you have to reestablish and to lock down. You can't trust everybody's word. We have a thing inside of us called the intuition. Sometimes you can feel that you can't trust nobody's word, but you still want to do so because you want that person in your life and you love this person, blah, blah. But sometimes you have to stop it. Just stop it. And know that you just cannot trust every single person you talk to. Even if you're a yes girl or a yes man, I used to be a yes girl, telling everybody you're going to do all these things for them and taking folks to the store and running yourself ragged and doing all these things. But you're leaving yourself in the way when you're not even working on yourself at all while you're taking care of everybody else. That's one thing that I had to stop. I can't no longer do that. Yes, it may hurt that, oh, this family member may have an attitude or they may not want to talk to me. Oh, well. If you can't understand that I have things going on in my life too, it ain't just you and your world and that kind of thing, then that's too bad. I had to tell myself that many a days. Some folks I have not talked to in years because of that, actually. They weren't, well, some were family, some were not. But that's okay. I'm fine with it. I'm unapologetic about it. I can't get the word out, y'all. But y'all know what I mean. But like I said, you definitely have to reestablish your boundaries. Make sure that they're clear and concise. So the damaging behavior won't be repeated by you putting yourself back in the same situation. Make sure that they're clear and concise boundaries, y'all. You don't want to be, oh, well, maybe I can let it go this time and this kind of thing. If you have a non-negotiable boundary, make that boundary non-negotiable. Nobody should be able to break that boundary from you or step into that boundary if you don't want them to. If you do, you allow yourself to get hurt again, and that's the choice that you're making. I just want to make sure you understand that. Like I said, when it comes to boundaries, you have to know that you have to protect. You have to protect yourself. Nobody else is going to protect you for you but you. You have to protect yourself when it comes to stuff like this. Excuse me. And if you need, I would say write these boundaries down. Write down the things that you know that you have relaxed over the years, that you have just let people come into your life just because. Write those things down. Write all those boundaries down. Then write down how you're going to strengthen them. What are you going to start? How are you going to start saying no? You have to start writing those things down, y'all. It's not going to just come because you said so. You're going to have to start doing the work, saying no. You're going to have to start letting people know that you don't take calls after 9 p.m. at night because you're getting yourself together for bed. I had to start cutting my phone off and letting folks know if you call me at a certain time, I ain't going to answer. At a time, I had my ringer on all night, waking up 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, getting phone calls. Oh, girl, this going on, this happened, crying. I start cutting my phone down off about 9 o'clock, sometimes 8:30, 8 o'clock. You're not going to call me and disturb my sleep when I'm trying to rest and do things for myself. If you have a situation, whatever it is, you learn how to deal with it. That's why I do these kind of videos, self-coaching. You can coach yourself through any situation, just like I explained earlier. Those healing videos, the healing stages, you can coach yourself through that as well. It's the same exact thing. But if you cannot go through those situations, you need my help. Like I said, reach out to me and let me know. I am giving away those free 20-minute strategy sessions, like I just said. The last thing is just keep in mind that all this stuff takes courage. You have to have a certain amount of courage in order to, of course, get through this process to even go through forgiveness or healing. Both of them, actually. You have to have courage in order to do this, but I know you got this. I know you do. Because like I said, you wouldn't be listening to this video or you wouldn't be looking at these things, trying to write these things down if you weren't. You're seeking out something at this time, so I'm sure you have the courage to do so. You may not think that you do, but you do. And like I said, this last one, having the courage, but just keep in mind that you have the power to rewrite your story. The situation that occurred to you, if it was sexual abuse, sexual trauma, you have been cheated on, whatever it was, you have the power to rewrite your story. And this is the part that you can always do that in. In this last stage, number 5, you can do that for yourself. You don't have to always be the victim in those stories. You can be the victor in those stories. This may have happened to me, but look where it got me now. I'm doing this today. I'm able to have a loving sexual relationship with my partner because I've done these things today. That person is no longer holding me back from my life and my relationships. You can be the victor in any situation that you want to rewrite your story in. You don't always have to be the victim in those situations, y'all. I had to learn that as well. Instead of me, oh, woe is me, and oh, I was abused and this kind of thing. How am I using those things to, of course, better my life and better somebody else's life? I'm doing that right now as a coach. I went through these situations already. So I'm, of course, showing y'all how I went through these situations, my stages, my steps, so that I can help somebody else transform and change their life as well, and work on their healing as well, and work on their forgiveness as well. Like I said, my mess is my message. It always has been and it always will. So, like I said, you can always rewrite your story. I just want to make sure that y'all understand these stages. And like I said, if you have to go back and rewind this, definitely feel free to do so. Save this video if you need. Tag somebody in this video who may need to hear this, or share it on your wall, on your social medias, on your blogs, that kind of thing. Because somebody else will need to hear this message besides you as well. There's a lot of folks out there hurting and don't know how to get through the healing stages, don't know how to forgive. They're so hurt and they're so triggered by everything that's going on within the relationship. This is the reason why. They have to go through these stages in order to figure out what's going on and how their behavior now is impacted by that, by those triggers. Like I said, somebody else needs to hear this, so go ahead and share this video, y'all. The last thing I want to just say, just that forgiveness is an internal feeling of peace and freedom once you get to that point. I've gotten to that point. I understand how that feels. It's the most freeing thing that you can ever have in your life. I can tell you that. And the most inner peace that you can ever have in your life. To not be bound, like I said, with being bound to somebody else's whatever that they were going through. You don't have to stay bound to them like that. You can always cut the cord. And just keep in mind that going through this entire process, you definitely have to be truthful and authentic to yourself. That's what everything I tell you, speak your truth. That's what I always say, be truthful and authentic in everything that you're going through. Write these things down, y'all. So with that, I want to say thank y'all for tuning in. Like I said, if y'all need a quick transformation, you need somebody to talk to for about 20 minutes so that you can get some free strategies, some free tips on how to move forward, and some free, suggestions on how to move forward. Like I said, definitely reach out to your girl. You can DM me on whatever platform you're seeing this on. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. You can always DM me. Or if not, there's always a link in the bio, link in the description that you can always go on. There should be a link on there as well to contact me on any social media in order to DM me. Like I said, I'm definitely giving that away. I just started doing that this past week. So if you know somebody that may need a free 20-minute strategy session with some tips and strategies in order to help them move forward, have them reach out to me today to get their call scheduled. It'll be just like this on Zoom, or if they want to do it on telephone, either one. Like I said, definitely reach out to me. For those who all, like I said in the beginning of this video, for those who need a journal and do not have a journal right at this moment to start writing these things about forgiveness, these stages down to start working on your own situations, you can always click the link in my bio or in the description of the video to go ahead and go to my author's page and buy yourself a journal. There are several kinds of journals on there. Any journal will actually work. Doesn't matter what the cover says, just go ahead and get it and start writing in it. Even if, like I said, you cannot afford those, they're less than, I think they're about like $7, $8 or less. If not, go to Walmart, go to Family Dollar, go to Dollar Tree and go get you a notebook. Those should be about $1 or $2. During the school time of the year, you can get it for like 30 cents, 25 cents. Get you one to write in. There's no reason why you cannot start coaching yourself and doing these things on your own. If you need the help, if you need me to come in, of course, step in to help you with this transformation, reach out to me, DM me today for that free session. I'm not selling you anything on the session. I'm helping you with whatever problem that you have. That's my gift to you. But like I said, definitely let me know. So with that, I want to say thank you all for tuning in. And if anybody should have any questions, concerns, anything like that, you can always leave it down in the comments as well. Or even if you enjoyed this video, this video helped you, I definitely want to hear from you. I guess hear how it helped you as well. How it gave you possibly some ideas on how you can move forward in your own life and your own journey. I definitely want to hear and if you don't want to leave it below, you can just DM that to me as well. I definitely want to hear from y'all. So like I said, take care, y'all. And like I said, thank you all for tuning in. On next Sunday, next Sunday, I'm thinking it should be at 4 o'clock as well. The time should change. I will let you all know. But next Sunday, anticipate me to be here next Sunday for the Workshop Sunday at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'll see y'all next week in the next, like I said, Workshop Sunday. Y'all take care and have a good rest of your day.